does allow players from all over the world to come together and to compete and to get that KFC. Let's go. And we're jumping into our next series here. If you're in the chat, predictions, they are open. Best of luck. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Amphion, we have our Chinese Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Mystery Gaming. It is Lancer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. Let us go. Lancer's impressive. Not what I was expecting. Yeah, I think there's some people out there that maybe don't watch, like especially like ESL Asia or KungFu Cup or WTL, that are maybe a little bit more unfamiliar with Lancer. But Lancer, alongside Firefly, alongside Jeshi, they all go toe-to-toe with the best players out there. Like, not uncommon for them to bring down players like Lambo, like Showtime. Like, they can threaten Skillus, they can threaten Spirit, and even some of the Koreans as well. So yeah, the Chinese region has really been leveling up quite a lot the past 12 months. It's been impressive to see the growth of Lancer, Coffee, Firefly, and Jeshi. They've all been getting better and better results. They all have been improving quite a lot. But despite that, I will not say that Lancer's the favorite in this series. Trap has been on fire, especially in the PvP matchup. So this is still an uphill battle for Lancer. This is still going to be a more Trap-favored series, but we'll see. We'll see if Lancer can contest him. We'll see if we can force the ace match. We have seen Lancer pop off against the Korean Protosses in the past. We'll see if they can again. As for now, we are going to be opening up Gate Expand. We do see Trap, he did go for a single gas opener, so Trap is going for a much faster expansion. Meanwhile, Lancer did go for a double gas opener, so Lancer should be going for a Stargate before Nexus, as we have the gas for it. We have the gas for the Stargate. As we're actually throwing down shield batteries, the pylon did finish, never mind. Lancer, 3 shield batteries are on the way, 4th shield battery on the way, the probe is about to go down, one more shot and it will fall. Yeah, the probe does go down. Zealot has arrived. A Lancer diving on that pylon. Shield batteries, they will finish. They will finish up. Lancer is going for the Artosis pylon. Pylon is under fire. Trap, he throws down a backup pylon on the right-hand side. As it is 4 shield batteries on the way. 1 shield battery about to go down. Adept is on the way as well to add some DPS. So important here that Trap did get a shield battery of his own. We're down to 3. Down to 3 shield batteries. And again, we're trying to break through that pylon. Are trying, and it looks like with the help of these 2 Stalkers, soon to be 3 Stalkers, we should be okay. With 3 Stalkers, we should be okay. Even if the pylon goes down, we have a backup pylon. We have a backup pylon anyway. The overcharges pop, we save the pylon. The pylon is saved. And Lancer, he's running out of steam, running out of DPS. Shield batteries are out of energy as well. They are out of energy. And Trap does hold. This was a big investment. This was a big investment here for Lancer, and it did not pay off. Did not pay off in the end. Behind this, now we're expanding. Now we're throwing down a Robo, but Lancer is going to be on the back foot. So we depower all the shield batteries, and so Trap now has map control. Now you may be looking at this and be thinking, oh, I mean, Lancer, he's only down 1 probe. Yes, but Trap's base is already done. Like, we already have a Nexus. We're making 2 probes at a time. Lancer's Nexus is still on the way. On top of that, Trap was able to invest into all these Stalkers. So he has a much larger army. We have 4 Stalkers to the 1 Adept of Lancer. So once the shield batteries go down, Trap, he can threaten to move out. He can apply pressure. He can force Lancer to morph in more units to put his economy on the back line. The back burner. That's what I was going for. Adept does shade in. We deny mining time. Immortal's on the way. The Immortal will help, don't get me wrong. I do like the Immortal decision here for Lancer to be able to make up for our otherwise smaller army. So the Immortal will keep us whole. We'll keep our base up and running. But we have more gates on the way. We have a 4 gate setup here. Sorry, a 3 gate setup for Trap, Twilight Council, Blink. There's the 4th gateway. So now 2 base, 4 gate Blink. And I'm sure Trap, he knows how ahead he is. Trap is soon going to be moving out once Blink finishes. Once Blink is done, then we can move that across the map, and it's going to be a tough hold here for Lancer. Lancer, he has to prioritize immortal production. We need as many immortals as we can make, as we can get. Just double down on those immortals. Third base on the way here for Trap. Trap just taking expansion, getting further ahead, taking a further economic lead. Trap does threaten the shade. Threatening shades towards the natural. Lancer being kept busy back at home. The immortals have been spotted, the sentries as well. Trap is fully aware. And basically this looks like a 2-base all-in from the side of Lancer. This when you're building up this many sentries and this many immortals, does, especially with Glaives now on the way, yeah, it's going to be confirmed. 2-base all-in out of Lancer. Trap for the most part has seen most of this, is aware. It's going to be a Dark Shrine alongside it. Oh my god. We're doing it all. The hallucination comes in, and Trap, he does confirm? Oh, he does. He does confirm. He is aware of the DTs. He is aware of the Dark Shrine. Trap applying pressure. Blink is done. Taking another base. Robo's on the way. That's going to be for observers, for detection of our own. Trap is working towards it. As Adepts, they shade into the natural. More probes going down. Getting 4 probe kills already. Bearing in mind, like we're committed on 2 bases. It's not the best start here for Lancer. We can't afford these losses. We can't afford these probe kills. Trappy's taking up. Charge on the way. Archon production as well. Slow because they do dip in. Catching some Adepts. As we are getting up to 3 immortals. Again, that's a pretty hefty immortal count. We do pick off a Stalker. Stalker does go down. Trap gonna have to retreat. Gonna pull back. And he's just waiting for his charge to kick in. With charge, I mean, they do a great job of just closing the distance, getting on top of these immortals, getting on top of the sentries, tanking immortal shots as well. Same time, Lancer's trying to go for some harass. There is a world where if we can slip in with... Okay, we cancel Dark Shrine, never mind. If we can slip in with Adepts, not DTs, as we did cancel. But if we can slip in with the Adepts, then we can wreak havoc and try to recover economically. But we need to get a lot done. Adepts are getting in position. Getting in position, shading in towards our 3rd base. Oh, we came into the shade. But alas, Trap was lying in wait, so we're going to lose 2 probes to 2 Adepts. A better trade for Trap. 4th base on the way. Meanwhile, Lancer getting to 4, soon to be 5 immortals. That's a lot of immortals. But what's going to be even better than that is mass charge lots. Now, the Archons will help. I do appreciate how tech-heavy Lancer's army is. Even though Lancer's army is smaller, there's a lot of potential here with force fields, with immortals, with Archons. There's a lot of potential. Leaves out a sentry. More Zealots are amassing. Lancer moving out. Adepts once again behind the mineral line. And we do get 1 probe. Here we go, Lancer getting ready for his push. It's going to come down to the engagement and how the Archons position themselves, likewise how Trap engages with those Zealots. Speaking of, Zealot harass across the map. Do have defensive warp in, cannon as well. Now we go for a massive warp into the main base, and Lancer races back home. He forces a recall. Lancer forces a recall back. Likewise, Zealot's trying to get surrounds here on the Archons. Prism taking a lot of... Oh no! Taking a lot of damage. Zealots barely get away. And Trap is moving out. Prism is going to be recalled. Trap now has map control, up in supply. We do have to wait for the warp prisms so we can reinforce. We can warp in on the front lines. And we can commit. Rook's being knocked down. Trap gonna be pulling away, so it looks like Trap doesn't want to really risk it here. He's just getting his fourth, still maintains the economic lead. And it looks like Trap may just wait to max out. When it comes to Lancer, because it's been so tech heavy, I would not be opposed to Lancer throwing down a second Robo and a Bay and working towards Disruptors. So even though Lancer's down in supply, if he, never mind. I was gonna say, if he gets into Disruptors, he can make up for that. He can make up for that and he can try to bounce back. Instead, Trap throws down the Robo and the Bay. Disruptors are instead on the way for Trap. So Trap, he's just getting further ahead. The quality of his army is getting out of hand. Prism gets shut down. Lance is moving out. And at this point, Lance is on a timer. Like, now he has to get damage done. He has to move in. The longer this goes on, the worse and worse it becomes for Lancer, as he will no longer have that tech lead. So that's a good amount of Immortals. Still has potential. You can see he's trying to bait Trap into one of these choke points where Lancer can make up for his smaller army. Trap, he doesn't take the bait. Pulls back, Lancer rotates. Now we get the Bay, now we get the Robo, but Lancer is one step behind. Disruptors are already in production here for Trap. And once Trap gets the Disruptors out, we should be feeling confident enough to be active on the map and to move out. Should give Trap that much more map control, as Trap is maxed out. And he's going to need to trade. See, he's clearing up supply, killing Zealots. Killing more Zealots for more Disruptors. And Lancer going for Colossus first? Ooh, this I'm not so sure of. Basically, it looks like Lancer, he thinks that maybe we don't have Disruptors yet from the side of Trap. So he's going for Colossus first, which can do well against a gateway-based army, but against Disruptors, less so. So that's a threat in the shade. Don't commit. Trap rotating over. Colossus is revealed. Yeah, we are pushing in. Nova's going to be popping off, and we're going for the Immortals! Ooh, one does connect. The other Disruptor goes down. Trap gonna have to retreat for now. Nova's going off. Grazing on Zealots. Oh no! Oh, massive connection. So many Adepts go down. That was a good half of the Adepts do fall to that Purification Nova. Trappy takes better trades. Gonna be reinforcing. Dark Shrine is on the way. More Disruptors as well. And Trappy can keep pushing. And this is all gonna come down to these Purification Novas. Speaking of, Novas go off. Two of them zone the army. We have one left. Up! Go for the dive. Go for the dive, Nova. It will connect. Massive connection here on the Immortals. Likewise, we catch a Disruptor. Lancer breaking free. You can see the supplies are more or less evening up. Lancer taking another base. Again, now that we've reached Disruptor Wars, like the army advantage that Trap once had, it isn't really as applicable anymore. Not as applicable. Lancer has recovered. Up! Disruptor is gonna get picked up. Barely doesn't. Barely does survive. Lancer is holding. Trap taking another base. And this is still very much on a knife's edge. It comes down to these Novas. Disruptor gets started down. We graze the army, picking up Zealots. Going for another Disruptor. Lancer, he's down to one Disruptor. Uh-oh. Yeah, Lancer just cutting Disruptor production a little bit there. Although the Disruptor count is concerning. He's now getting up to 2, soon to be 3. Like, Immortals, sure, they can take a couple of Disruptor shots, that's true, but they also can't really micro against Disruptors. Not as flexible as these Stalkers. Never goes up. Connecting once again. Again and again, the Novas do find their connections. Oof. One Immortal goes down. The others are getting low. Meanwhile, Prism into the main gets shut down. Lancer is keeping up. Now, what I appreciate, though, as we're losing Immortals, we're replacing them with more Disruptors. Thankfully, Lancer is not going back into Immortal production. More Disruptors. It's all about the balls, Pappy. For now. Strap leading the charge. Oh! Oh my god. Trading 1 for 1. Yeah, Lancer being zoned away. The lack of Disruptors is hurting him. He's being bullied further and further back here by the non-stop Disruptors. Yeah, Lancer can just never fully engage. Behind this, did you see what was on the production tab for Trap? We had the Stargates. Didn't we? Yeah. Fleet Beacons on the way. Let's go! Fleet Beacons on the horizon. When it comes to PvP and how it all unfolds, the mid game is ruled by Disruptors. That is true. The late game is ruled by Sky Toss. Because how do you avoid Disruptors? By taking to the skies. Oof. Split's not good enough. We do connect with Zealots. Once again, massive connection on the Immortal. Oh no! Massive connections. 2 Immortals go down. 2 Immortals do fall. But Trappy's working towards that Sky Toss. Disruptor gets shut down. Trap out trading Lancer here. Does out trade him. And catching out more Immortals as well. Forcing back the main army. Lancer responds with 2 more Robos. That's going to be, I think, quadruple Disruptor production. As Lancer is setting up a surround. He's trying to come in from behind. Never goes off. Ooh. Does connect. Stalkers, they're going to be going down. Massive connections. And Lancer's army's melting. Now we come in from behind. We try to collapse on the Disruptors, and we will catch them. Disruptors, they all go down. One after the other. The surround does pay off, and Trap gets caught out. Yeah, he gets caught out. So Workers, the army is falling. Workers are going down here at the third base. We lose 19 probes. But the main army, the main army is what matters. And we lost every single Disruptor. The Disruptors, the Archons. It all gets cleaned up. Do we have detection? Oh, we do. We do have detection, but the base is going to go down. DTs are cleaned up, and now Lancer can push. At the same time, behind this, Trap is embracing a mothership, not fully committing into Sky Toss yet, going back into Disruptors. Rebuilding. Lancer has momentum. Lancer has a supply lead. The army supply lead, I should say, as Trap has a lot of probes. Has a lot of workers. Obviously being knocked down. Lancer pushing in. Nerv's going up. See Trap coming in from behind. Up! Good eyes on this. Big Nova did connect though. Ooh, as we take down the Colossus. Colossus goes down. Stalkers from behind. Not quite able to engage. It looks like the base will fall. But here come more Novas. Here comes our own surround. Yeah, Zealots, they come in from the left. They come in from the right. The Novas, they're not quite connecting here, and it looks like now it's Lance's turn to be surrounded, and Lance's turn to overextend as he loses everything. Yeah, the Immortals and Disruptors. GG gets called. Unlike Trap, Lancer does not have an economy, and Trap will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Very impressive there by Lancer, because Lancer had a very rough start. He had a very rough start to the game. If you remember, Lancer, he had given up map control. He was down a base, down in economy, down in tech, down in army. He was down in so many different ways. He was late to the Disruptors as well. But thanks to a better fight, Lancer, or even before that, Lancer was able to stabilize with his own Disruptor trades, was able to catch Trap out. Unfortunately, as we mentioned, Lancer did not really have much of an economy to work with. He lost 19 workers. He was down like 20 plus probes compared to Trap. So Lancer was pretty all in, was pretty committed, and because of that, upon losing that army, Lancer had no longevity in that game. GG. GG, well played. Trap takes the lead. Now we're jumping into game number 2. Whew, let's go. Jumping into game 2. One Colossus is always nice. One Colossus can do a lot for you. It can. Like, there's some pros and cons. if you remember, we went to Colossus first before the Disruptor Wars really began. I think that's fine. In the middle of Disruptor Wars, I think it's a mistake to go into a Colossus. But again, that was the Colossus from early on, which did survive for quite some time. That's okay. It's okay. Oh. And now we're getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Dynasty. We have our Chinese Protoss player down in this series, looking to bounce back, looking to make a series out of this and force the ace match. Representing Mystery Gaming, it is Lancer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. Here we go. Now, Dynasty is going to be an interesting one. The big feature, of course, is the pocket gold base that is available to our players, but in a PvP, we would traditionally not take this gold until later on as a 4th base. So neither player should be taking the gold base early on. If they do, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be wild. We should be expanding here on the low ground instead, over on the right-hand side. But we'll keep an eye on both Lancer and Trap. The reason why it is unwise to take this base early on is because it can be harassed from the other side quite easily by adepts, by stalkers, by oracles, by any kind of range-based unit. Can punish it quite easily. And in this mirror matchup, we have an abundance of that. So this is going to be a 2-gate opener here by Trap. Meanwhile, Lancer opening up Gate Expand. Interesting. Bold move here out of Lancer, very bold move. Basically, Lancer is going for what looks to be a Stargate into Nexus off of 1 gateway, so a very greedy opener here out of Lancer. This is the Max Packs build, or the Max Packs opener. Meanwhile, Trap going for something more standard. As a result, Trap has the option to go for a 1-base all-in. Trap, he scouts, he confirms the build, he confirms how greedy Lancer is being, so the ball is now in Trap's court. What is the plan? 2 Stalkers initially. 2 Stalkers are moving out. No proxy setup yet here out of Trap. Probe does confirm the Stargate. Again, it's Stargate first, followed by the Nexus, followed by the expansion. So the Zealots will chase Trap back. And it looks like Trap is just going to expand. Okay. So Trap, he's not going for a 1-base all-in. Trap is going for his own Stargate opener into a Nexus. Now, what's interesting here is that Trap scouted the Stargate of his opponent, so this could be a Phoenix first, but bearing in mind that Lancer has not scouted the tech of Trap, so Trap can go into a Phoenix, and Lancer should be going Oracle. So I'm liking this kind of dynamic that we're seeing here. Yo, Trap going for the gold, okay! How do you approach this kind of more greedy build? You rush into the gold instead. Bold move here by Trap. We'll see if he can get away with it. We'll see if he can hold on. I mean, I do really like it as a response to a greedy build, right? Because chances are Lancer wouldn't actually have much to punish that base. Trap is the one with map control. Oracle's on the way, but here comes that Phoenix. Again, Trap just looking to counter Lancer as best he can. Lancer's in the dark. Lancer does not know. Lancer going Oracle first into the Void Ray. He scouted. He did confirm that there was no expansion, but Lancer will not check the gold. Gold base is spotted. Void Ray still on the way. Phoenix does engage. We get a second Phoenix as well. We force the recall, and the Oracle will barely make it back home. Whew, we do save it. Oracle makes it back home. We disable the shield battery. We cancel. Void Ray has arrived. And we'll see if this Oracle can find some damage, as we are going to try and skirt around the edge of the map and try to avoid these Phoenixes. Or these, yeah. These Stalkers, the army here of Trap. These Phoenixes. There we go. So you can see Trap, he's trying to hunt down that Oracle. Trying to make sure he's in position. Spreading out his army, taking advantage of the gold base. As a result, Trap does take a lead. And Lancer, how do we try to punish that gold base? Blink and a gateway explosion. It's going to be 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink here out of Lancer. Very aggressive follow-up here from our blue Protoss. basically, instead of a 4th gateway, even instead of a 3rd gateway, we could have gone for a faster Nexus. So Lancer going for a much more aggressive response instead. Oracle does skirt around the edge, headed towards the main base here of Trap. Likewise, Trap still moving out on the map, still trying to find whatever he can. Does catch the Adept, but the Oracle does slip in. But we have a shield battery. We have a shield battery position. We do defend, we do hold. Going for a stasis, up! We pull away. Oh my god, just in time. We do pull away. Phoenixes, they collapse on the Oracle. Oracle is going to go down. The Phoenixes, they've done their job. But here comes Lancer. We spoke about it. Remember, 4-gate blink. 2-base 4-gate blink out of Lancer. Proxy Pylon across the map. Oh my god, going for the gateway right in the face here of Trap. Let's go. So, my apologies. This is not 2-base 4-gate blink. It's going to be 2-base 5-gate blink. Let's go. We are moving out. Phoenixes, they collapse on the army already, though. Stalkers are going to be going down. Nice lifts here from Trap. Lancer's trying to reinforce, and he is forcing Trap back. We have a shield battery, though. We have a shield battery. We have an overcharge as well that is within range. Trap has the defender's advantage. And again, he can pop that overcharge whenever he needs to. Lancer has the higher Stalker count, but the Stalkers are getting low. Yeah, they are getting low. There's the overcharge. It does top off the Stalkers. Shin once again, falling back to the shield battery. One Stalker goes down. And does Lancer barely have enough? It's close. Leading out another Stalker. Another Stalker does fall. And the Phoenixes aren't helping. It's all or nothing here for Lancer. He has to end the game here and now. He has to break through. But the Stalkers are getting so low and they're starting to go down. Stalkers are falling. Same can be said for Trap. Lancer still double the Stalker count of his opponents. It looks like he has enough. He barely has enough. He's breaking through. 2 Stalkers left. Down to 2. Down to 1. And Lancer, he has done it. I say that. Another massive warp in coming in. Another massive warp in does finish. But Trappy's up against the wall. Shield batteries are out of energy. And yeah, we have to evacuate. We have to give up on the goal base. Trap has been broken. We are making Immortals. And Trap is taking another expansion, trying to resaturate his natural. But again, he loses control of the gold. And Lancer takes a fourth. Sorry, takes a third. Takes the 3rd base. Takes another expansion. Lancer ahead in economy, ahead in army. The Immortal stuck in the back line, barely helping. Just a really awkward position here for Trap to try to engage. As the Immortals are stuck. And with that, the Immortals, they barely do survive. We pick off a sentry. Behind this 3rd base is spotted. Trap slipping into the mineral line. Lancer does warp in. We can one-shot probe, so loving the warp in though. Does lock down one of the Adepts. That's still going to be 3 probes going down at the same time. Lancer recommits. Does focus on one Immortal and gets the other. And both Immortals go down. A good trade here, a better trade for Lancer. Resets the Immortal count, a 3rd Immortal, another Immortal has just barely arrived in time. And we spoke about this at the start of the game. Again, it is so difficult to hold on to this goal base early on, which is why often we skip it. Trap, he almost got away with the gold, but unable to in the end. Unable to. Lancer responding with his own 2-base all-in. Catching Trap off guard. We'll kill the Nexus. And then Lancer can focus on the natural. At the same time, Adeptras continues. We'll be moving in. The army's in position. Adepts are on a move. The Adepts are caught out. And GG gets called. The writing was on the wall, and Lancer will tap the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very chaotic, PvP both in game 1 and in game 2 in very different ways. As a reminder, Lancer went for a greedy opener. He went for the Max Packs Gate Cyber into Stargate into expansion. We had a Trap trying to, in a way, punish and outgreed his opponent by opening up Phoenix and rushing into the gold, and upon scatting the gold base, Lancer committed to a 2-base all-in. Went for a 5-gate 2-base all-in there to try to punish that gold and was barely able to. Trap unfortunately was unaware. Trap, even though he had those Phoenixes, remember that Phoenixes, they were busy trying to catch the Oracle. They weren't able to confirm the gateway count of a Lancer. And in the end, Trap was barely broken. Barely. It was close. It was a very close fight. Very close engagement. Lancer did come out on top, and now we're going to the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Side Delta, we have our Chinese Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Mystery Gaming, tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. Can he go all the way? It is Lancer. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. And once again, another quirky map, especially in PvP. We have a ramp leading into the natural. What does that mean? That means gate expands. Gateways are on the way. Now, the first important thing that we have to keep an eye on is the gases. How many gases do we embrace? Do we go for double gas or single gas? Single gas is going to lead into a faster Nexus. Double gas will lead into a Stargate first. That's going to be the first kind of deviation between our players. We saw it on Amphion, if you remember, where Trap got the faster expansion and Lancer went for the mass shield battery, which didn't really pay for itself. It did set Lancer behind. It set him behind. As both players are across the map, both players going to be delaying shot. Oh god, as we do get the Nexus! Again, it was a single gas opener, same here for Trap. Both players trying to rush into those bases, but alas, Lancer will come out on top. Lancer does get the Nexus, and Trap is going to be slightly behind in the economy. As Trap takes the second gas, goes for the Cyber Core, going for a much later expansion. Now, this does mean that Trap can go for tech first. He can opt to delay his expansion a little bit further and go for a Stargate. But there it is. Nexus is on the way. But again, just strictly later than that of Lancer. So a nice little start here from our Red Protoss. As our Zealot is going to be moving out across the map. Stargate has been thrown down. Again, Stargate opener out of Lancer. He had the faster gases. You can go for the faster tech. Lancer's tech is going to be a little bit later, as we are still banking up. And interesting, Lancer is going for not the Stargate, going for the Twilight Council, which is scattered by Trap. Trap, he does scat, he does confirm. He is aware of the Twilight Council. Zealot moving out. Probe gets shut down. Lancer being pretty aggressive here, going for that natural. He's going to swipe away. Stalker is right behind that initial Zealot. Second gate in production for Lancer. And he will break down that wall. Oh. It does force a cancel, but now with additional units, Lancer has to respect the army. Has to get the hell out of here. Has to back off. Does have to retreat. Probe trying to body block. Very cheeky moves there by Trap, trying to body block that Stalker. The ball's on that Probe. As Lancer backs off, and it's on Lancer to minimize losses. What I'm referring to is the Oracle. We have one Oracle moving out, second Oracle's on the way, and we have a shield battery that's just about to finish up in the main base. Just barely. Does finish just in time, but instead the Oracle heads for the natural. Yeah, we head for the natural base. Probes are exposed. We get one. Oh, we don't barely get the second. One probe so far. Stalker's going to be distracted. We get another. Oh, almost another probe. There we go, 2 probes go down. So really nice movement here out of Trap, distracting the main army here with the Stalkers and dipping in with the Oracle, getting 2 probe kills. And we're not done. Here comes the second Oracle. And 2 Oracles, they one-shot workers, so the shield battery is going to be that much less effective. Lancer splitting up his army, getting in position. Forge is on the way. Likewise, Trap calming things down and going for not a blink, he's going for DTs. Uh-oh. Dark Shrine is on the way. We're going to be embracing the Invisible Man. Now, thankfully for Lancer, we have a Robo. We have a Robo in production, so we will have detection. We will not just die here and now. 2 DTs. Oracles, they dip in. They get 3 probe kills, and they dip away. Once again, not bad. I see in the chat, Lancer is Cyan. Cyan has name changed officially to Lancer. So, yes, Lancer is Lancer. Was Cyan. Lanjoy. Where have you been, Fafi? He's been Lancer for like 3 months? Like 2 months. Something like that. It's gonna take some time getting used to. It's gonna take some time. But now Lancer's gonna be expanding, taking a 3rd base. Meanwhile, the Dark Shrine is now finishing up. We have the proxy pylon ready and waiting. And we're getting ready for the DTs, getting ready for the Invisible Man. Let's go. Let's go. Do we have detection? We do. We have an observer outside of the natural. Oracles are poking in. And here come those Dark Templar. Now, even though we have the observer, it is sieged up and it's stationary outside of the natural. It's going to take time for it to reposition, which means we can get damage done. It's going to come down to the reaction time here of Lancer. Here we go. Ooh, that's one Oracle's going to be going down. DTs are going to be waddling in. 1 DT towards the natural. The observer does notice. Well, I should say Lancer does notice. And he will pull back. Trying to keep up with the DTs. Probes are now starting to go down. We're going to get 3. We're going to get 5 work kills so far. Oh, the observer, no! Come back! Yeah, another miscontrol here. We're going to get 13 probe kills. You can see, it only takes seconds. It only takes a couple of seconds to wreak havoc. We get a mineral line. 14 probes go down. And just like that, Trap takes a massive lead. A massive lead for Trap. If only the observer was a little bit closer to the ramp, and we could have averted disaster. Could have been a very different game. But the observer was slightly too far out. And just like that, Trap, he's looking solid. He's looking very solid. He's taking another base, getting a 4th. Working towards Charlottes, working towards Immortals. Now, if you were here earlier in this series for Game 1, Lancer was also behind quite heavily in the first game, and he was able to recover. But that was on Amphion. Amphion is a map that has a little more choke points, has a little more ramps. It is a little more difficult to be aggressive on Amphion, so Lancer was able to successfully turtle up or to be able to defend and eventually get into disruptors and have more of a back and forth. Have more of a back and forth dynamic with Trap. Here on side Delta, it's going to be more difficult. The difference is, of course, it's a lot more wide open. A lot more wide open, a lot more difficult to survive these initial pushes, especially if you're behind in supply. So the defender's advantage on side Delta is not as large, is not as great as it is on Amphion. So it is going to be a bit of a more uphill battle here for Lancer. More difficult than before. Not impossible, but more difficult. As stasis traps are on the way, Trap getting smaller pylons, getting his 4th up and running, embracing more Immortals, charges done, Archons as well. Trap getting his ideal army. And Lancer is going to be the first to move out here. I mean, Lancer does have to be active, like he has to find some damage wherever he can. Pick off some stray units. Catch some reinforcements, but in a head-on fight, it is going to be in favor of Trap. Lancer is down in army supply. And again, he cannot fight this head-on. He's going to try to commit in. Does have the Stalker advantage. Has micro potential at least. Oh, the sentries! Ooh. And we force out the force fields. One sentry goes down. The other running out of energy. Other does run out. Lancer going to be trading, poking in. I mean, the concave field for the Stalker battle is in favor of Lancer, true. And he gets the Immortal. Immortal is going to go down, but we have to respect the Zealots. We have to pull back. Yeah, Zealots, they have a ride. We collapse on in. And yeah, the Zealots, they just spill on forward. They collapse on top of the Stalkers. They're getting on top of the Immortals as well. Nice juggling here at the Lancer, but it's just a numbers game at this point. It's a numbers game, and Trap, he's breaking through. He shuts down that prism, breaks through the main army. The Immortals crumble, and Lancer just cannot keep up. GG gets called, and Trap will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the round of 16. GG. GG, well played. It was a very dynamic back and forth series, but here in the ace match, the DTs did win Trap the game. They gave him a massive lead, and Lancer wasn't able to recover from it. It looks like Lancer's answer to losing all those workers was a 3-base all-in, was to just commit, double down, and be aggressive, but because of those earlier losses, Trap, he was under no real danger. Like, he was just so far ahead, had a massive economy, which meant he had a massive army. If Lancer were to have gone for an all-in, he missed his opportunity. He missed his timing. He did hit a little bit too late there, and Trap, he had plenty to deal with it. Had plenty to deal with the all-in. With that, GG, well played. Congratulations, Trap will take the series and advance on into the next round. And the question becomes, who's next? Let's find out.